Hey guys, and welcome to this May bullet journal setup. This month's theme is all about flowers, and I'm starting with a watercolor painting of a typical Mediterranean window with shutters on the side and flowers on the windowsill. So I started by creating a light layer of yellow as the background color of the wall, and now I'm using some gray for the window frame. For the glass of the window, I created a mixture of light blue and some gray. For the shutters, I'm using this light blue, and this is actually a color from a new watercolor palette I just got. It's the Pastel Dreams palette from Prima Watercolor. And this palette actually inspired this whole theme of the month. The colors are all so beautiful and they go really well together, so I had to create something with them. So these shutters are in the color Pool Party, and the flowers I'm creating later are in the rose and pink tones of the palette. And I tried to paint each board of the shutter one by one. So I drew the first one, let it dry, and then I drew the second one. And because of this, there's a natural line in between the three boards that otherwise would not have been there. Now I'm going over the shutters again with a little bit darker blue than before, just to create some dimension. And then it's time for the flowers. As I said before, I chose different tones of pink for the flowers. So I have this really dark pink, almost red looking color, and then this lighter rose color. So I placed the flowers where I wanted them to go, and then I filled in the space between the flowers with sap green. So I chose a lighter green color like sap green for the first layer, and then I went in with Hooker's Green Light, and after that I went in again with a really dark green, just to give it some dimension. And this month wouldn't be all about flowers if I would just create some on the windowsill. So I'm also creating some like if they were hanging down from the roof. And here I switched up the color palette a little bit, so I put in some orange and yellow flowers so it isn't too boring. And then again, as before, I started with a really light green to fill in the space between the flowers and went over it again with some darker green tones. Now I'm finishing up the plant pot on the windowsill, and then I felt like the painting just needed something a little bit more. So I painted these 2 plant pots on the bottom right corner. And of course then I had to paint some more flowers to go with them. So the last thing left to do was creating the cross on the window, and for that I used the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, and then the cover page for May is done. Now I'm pasting the digital version of my watercolor painting in my bullet journal. As I said before in other videos, I don't like putting in the original watercolor painting in my bullet journal. I find that the watercolor paper is way too thick, and I just like to keep the original for myself to hang it somewhere in my apartment. And as always, all these pages I'm creating, the cover page and the monthly spread, will be available for you to download for free on my website, and I will put a link to that in the description box below. But now for the monthly thread. So as you saw, I created my go-to monthly grid planner, and then I thought of like a fun idea how to display flowers a little bit different. So I thought of a bike with a really huge basket in front of it that is full of flowers, and I think subconsciously, as I thought about how to color in the bike, I recreated my own bike here because the colors are very similar to mine, and I think that's so funny because I'm only realizing this now as I'm editing this video. Moving on to the next side, so I created some more flowers, this time in some violet purple tones, and then again filling in the blank spaces with some greenery. And now I'm moving on to the May lettering on top of the calendar, and then just some finishing touches for the calendar itself. So I painted this pink borderline where the dates of the days are going in, and then this monthly spread is done. Now moving on to the next pages, I just keep them really simple. I pasted in some images I found on Pinterest that I used for inspiration for the whole month. That's how I usually find all these images. And then I'm just doing a really simple lettering on top. So one page is for creative ideas and the other page is a to-do list page. And then we're moving on to the weekly planner. So here's the palette I have been talking about. This is the Pastel Dreams palette from Prima Watercolors. And you see all the colors go really well together. I think I used most of them, even the brown tones for the bike, I think. Now I'm just creating flowers where the dates of the days go in. And then I created like a mint borderline where I will write each weekday in. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked this flower theme. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel, and comment down below if you have any suggestions or new ideas for the next coming month. I would love to hear them. And if you are new, please consider subscribing if you want to see more, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Bye!